Good day, guys. Just a short announcement. If for those of you who are following us and commented I'm in, I've selected some of the winners. I've just went through at random and selected a few of the guys. I didn't really think this winning thing through. So let me give you our office number. You can contact us on our office number and then log into your YouTube account and just take a picture of your comment and with me announcing you as the winner, and we will give you access to the book. Once you get access to the book, I do hope that you implement it and put it to use. One of my targets I've set for myself is that I want to add value to at least 1 million people. Well, I've broken that down, so we're not on 1 million anymore. I'm on 999 something, but I'm knocking that down. And what we are also going to do for the ebook, I've got some of the youngsters, Anolu's son, we've just interviewed another youngster who would be joining us. We're creating an ebook challenge for them, whereby they will carry out some of the exercises in the book. I want to prove to you guys that what I've put in there works. I've done it. I've tried it. It works. In business, especially today, business is a risk. And you need to find ways to mitigate that risk. So that is what we are doing for various businesses. We are assisting them mitigate their risks and getting to profits quicker. And I know that I would like you guys also to reach that stage where you are not part of the machine, but you own a machine. So your business, many of you who own businesses, you are working inside the business. What I want you to do is I want you to step out and work on the business to turn it into a business. And if you follow some of the tips we have in the book, hopefully that would fast track you to get to corporate level. Let me not harp on that too much. I just want to create a few announcements. The other announcement is that we are going to create, for the ebook challenge with the boys, we are going to create a private channel for all the guys who bought the book. They will be able to follow us on that channel, and they can also send requests. You can ask us, look, it has to be stuff that's in the book. And we're going to limit it. I'm going to limit it to a month. No, look. Right? We'll limit that challenge. Let's make it 6 weeks. Right? I'll give you guys 6 weeks access to that channel. And I know there's a lot of experienced guys who are buying the book. The book is meant for everybody. But my target market for the book is not the guy who already has a lot of money. I would like to get the up and coming guys started. That's the main reasoning behind the book. So what else do we have to announce? Today is my giveaway day. I've also given away the guys who bought the master edition. Some of them I have given some transponder chips. Look, that is unfortunately only available to guys within South Africa, because it can be a problem sending electronics to our neighboring countries, especially our neighboring countries. Sending electronics abroad to them can be a bit of an issue. So if you win, if I select you as a winner, by all means, and you're outside the country, if you can arrange for collection of your own chips, I don't have a problem with that. But that competition with the transponders is more available to South Africans. What else do we have? I just wanted to highlight to you as well, knowledge. Why knowledge is important. This section of the channel is going to be more dedicated to the up and coming guys. Now, no, look, you can also go, you can put that one on as well. This one is going to be more dedicated to some of the up and coming guys. And as part of the up and comings, I just want to highlight to you what I will also do is for the
if they want their country back.
Sorry guys, I'm just trying to assist over here. Okay, as I was stating, for the ebook guys, we are creating our separate private YouTube channel. I'm busy drafting the rules and regulations for questions within that channel because we are going to shoot. I want to try and focus the content for beginners, right? It's going to be aimed at beginners, and it is going to be aimed at the content of the book. We have experienced guys who's buying the book and they're trying to circumvent a booking with me. At the moment, my booking, I charge 2,500 rands for a consultation. So a lot of guys are trying to sidestep the 2,500 consultation and trying to squeeze questions in through that. And I can see that it's guys who have money. The ebook is meant for guys who are coming up. Back to the book. Something that I'm also going to put into the book, I'm going to demonstrate how FRMs are repaired. And we will carry out a demonstration with tools at different price points. In the ebook, we can go cheaper with programmers, but in the ebook, I've made this our starting point. But I will shoot some videos using a UPA as well. I'll do the same exercise with UPA just to demonstrate to you how to carry out the FRM repair. So if we look at these tools here, we have VVD-iProg, we have Hextag, and we have Multiprog. So if we're going from the lowest price to the most expensive, it would be VVD-iProg, then Multiprog, and then Hextag. Now, then we look at the ease of use. To repair FRM with VVD-iProg, you would need to manually either use some software to extract the data for you, but you would need to understand what partition and what sizes and what to restore that FRM. If you had done it with Multiprog makes it slightly easier. I'm not sure if Multiprog fixes your own file. You must give me those dumps that are generated to see if it repaired the old file or if it pulled its own file. Okay. Now, the easiest and the highest price point would be Hextag. So if you use Hextag, what you would do is you would check your partitions. If you find that you have a faulty partition, you would click repair. Okay, let's start it from the beginning. You would go to FRM, select FRM, and the programmer will give you your type of FRM and the diagram. You can either solve the 4 connections at 4 or 5. 4 connections, solve the 4 connections, or you could use probes. You could use BDM probes. They also work. Or you also get an adapter that you can use, and then you would press connect your power supply, check the partitions if the partitions are okay, and click repair. Now, I'm telling you this to demonstrate to you that it is possible to get started with budget tools, but budget tools are going to require more knowledge. If you are serious about getting started with this and you're not an IT guy, I do recommend getting old computers, sitting with them, stripping them, taking them apart, loading an operating system, and learning things like, for number one, what is a partition? I like to figure out why things went wrong and how things go wrong. If I look at the majority of the failures that we've had for this past 2 weeks, it's been bad checksums. It's been newbies writing data to incorrect locations, overwriting different partitions. Now, for tonight's lesson, I'm going to try and keep it simple, keep it short. I want you guys to look at the structure of memory. If we look at, this is not actual. I'm just trying to make it easier for you to understand. If we look at, let's say this is the BMW FRM, the BMW Footwell's microcontroller. Inside that microcontroller, the word for tonight is partition. Inside that microcontroller, we have that microcontroller is partitioned into different sizes, and each size will have a purpose. I'm not going to get into the purpose of those partitions. I just want you to focus on the word partition. So if we look at our location here, we are in a warehouse, and this warehouse is subdivided into different partitions. Some of the partitions are fixed partitions, so that meaning they are built out of bricks, and some of the partitions are drywall. With drywall partitions, you can resize partitions. When you start working on computer memory, you can also resize those partitions. Now, what happens in the case of a FRM is that one of the partitions gets lost or it gets damaged. We actually have another vehicle here, a B-class Mercedes. Common problem on them as well is that they suffer from damage to, let's call it the filing system of the microcontroller. And when that happens, we have a checksum failure. And when a checksum failure is detected, the ECU boots up, but it goes into like a limp mode. So it will idle a little bit and it will switch off. Many of you want to repair computer boxes. Most of the time, it is not hardware faults. It is software. So as I stated, for tonight's word, the word for tonight is partition. Now, each partition comes in different sizes. This is the other reason why you need to know what a bit is, what a byte is, what a kilobyte is. I see the boys were busy here. They were busy learning the ones and zeros, and they have gone as far as nibbles and bits and words, but you don't need to go bit level. You just need to know bytes. How many bytes in a kilobyte? How many bits in a byte? You don't need to go megabytes. We can go megabytes, but most of our memory, most of the microcontrollers that we work with are pretty small. Now, in what happens in that FRM, if you look at what the tool does, the tool will read the complete memory map. And once you have the complete memory map, if you are using VVDI-PROG, or you're using XPROG, or you're using UPA, or any of the other programmers, you would need to manually edit that file, extract the data from that file. Now, when you manually extract the data, you can either use a program. The program knows at which offsets does the information lie. But for tonight's lesson is just about partitions. So it's going to look inside this microcontroller. We have a backup. So let's say this workshop was a microcontroller, and we would store a copy of this room inside another room that would be like our backup. So if anything happens to this section, we could go and fetch, restore the items from this room, from our backup room. Hope I'm making sense. So what another programmer like HexProg would do is, HexProg would, without your interaction or without your intervention, you click repair, it will then take the correct information and restore it to the correct partition in order to get the FRM working again. Multiprog can also do it. I haven't checked to see if Multiprog fixes the vehicle's control unit or if it downloads a fresh file. I do know that the IM508, IM608, how that tool works is that tool will download a file from another vehicle and place it onto your vehicle. And that gives you an extra step, and that extra step costs you time. Now, what we are working on is we are working on efficiency. So what we are going to do is we are going to we've got a hex tag in a corner, and we are dedicating that corner to some of the repairs and some of the functions that hex tag works, that hex tag does very well. So in that way, it saves us a lot of time, and it also gives us predictable results. I hope that made sense to you. So what I would do is, for an exercise for tonight, I would go and read up on partitioning. Find hard drives, change the partition sizes, experiment with it, play around with it, download a 9S12 microcontroller data sheet, have a look at the data sheet, look at how that memory is structured. Look, you need to, when you are reading a data sheet, for example, don't go with the option to read the entire data sheet. Go in and find one thing to look at. So what I would do is I would go and find a 9S12 microcontroller data sheet and only look at partitions. Look at where does it save, what size is the D flash, what size is the P flash, what size is the EEPROM, what sector. Look at what address is the RAM, where does the RAM start. Look at all those functions look at all those partitions in the data sheet. Okay, for the winners, you guys can contact us on +27 73 295 7708, and we will give you access to the book. For the winners of our transponders, you guys can be we will send you the address and you can arrange for your own collection. That's it for tonight. And if you'd like to buy the book, the link will be in the comments and as well in the video's description. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.